Good morning and welcome to the ISD Sunday morning service. It's Sunday, May 10th, and it's Mother's Day. So I would like to wish all you mothers a happy Mother's Day. The homily this morning comes from a book called When God Was a Woman, and the author is Merlin Stone. The subtitle for the book is The Landmark Exploration of the Ancient Worship of the Great Goddess and the Eventual Suppression of Women's Rights. So in prehistoric and early historic periods of human development, religions existed in which people revered their supreme creator as female. The great goddess, the divine ancestress, had been worshipped from the beginnings of the Neolithic periods of 7000 BCE up until the closing of the last goddess temple in 500 CE. Archaeological, mythological, and historical evidence all reveal that the female religion, far from naturally fading away, was a victim of centuries of continual suppression and persecution by the advocates of the newer religions, which held male deities as supreme. And it was from these new religions that came the creation myth of Adam and Eve and the tale of the loss of paradise. So what had life been like for women who lived in a society that venerated a wise and valiant female creator? And why had the members of the later male religions fought so aggressively to suppress that earlier worship, even the very memory of it? And what did the legend of Adam and Eve really signify? And why was it written? These are the answers that have formed the contents of When God Was a Woman. This is the story of the suppression of women's rights, and it's been written to explain the historical events and political attitudes that led to the writing of the Judeo-Christian myth of the fall, the loss of paradise, and most important, why the blame for that loss was attributed to Eve and has ever since been placed heavily on all women. Good morning. At the dawn of religion, God was a woman. I wonder if you remember. And I believe that deep within us, we all carry this memory. Humanity's earliest awareness of the divine was a loving and nurturing mother goddess. The great mother, the goddess creator, was regarded as the giver of life. Her magical, mysterious ability to give life was the source of her divinity. The goddess was worshipped throughout the Middle East, Europe, and Asia as far back as 7000 BCE and up until about 500 Common Era. An overwhelming amount of archaeological evidence has been found to support this, and she is known by many, many names: Isis, Astarte, Inanna, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Athena, Diana, Artemis, Venus, Donna, Bridget, and the Morrigan. Societies were matrilineal. Children took their mother's names, not their father's. The temple of the goddess was a center of peaceful, loving communities. Priestesses of the goddess tended to the well-being of all members of the community. The mother goddess was regarded as the queen of heaven. Calendars were lunar, based on the moon, not on the sun. The luminous radiance of the goddess was honored, as were her mysterious ways. Time was experienced as a repetitive cycle that followed the phases of the moon. The phases corresponded to the feminine rites of passage. They began with the new moon, and the new crescent was regarded as the maiden. The full moon was the mother in all of her power and glory. And the waning moon was the crone, also known as the wise woman. It's been that way for 4 billion years. The earth was regarded as the body of the goddess. Her dark, rich, abundant soil and her fertile womb gave us life, nourished us, and sustained us. She was also known as the taker of life. We returned to the goddess in death, and she continued to care for us between lives, guiding us through the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The world lived in peace, unity, and harmony under the reign of the goddess for thousands and thousands of years. At some point in the chronology of the goddess religion, men figured out that they played an essential part in the procreation process. This realization, combined with the hostile warrior invaders from the north around 2300 BCE, brought war, upheaval, and unrest to the peaceful realm of the goddess. The warrior tribes brought their male thunder gods along with them, along with their rape, pillage, and burn tactics. Male gods and female goddesses gradually combined to create polytheistic pagan religions. As Judaism and Christianity gained power, the divine feminine was suppressed and gradually driven out of religion. Patriarchy emerged as the dominant force in religion. A male god replaced the goddess. Mother became subordinate to father. Priestesses became handmaidens to priests. As we look at on our world today, the demise of the goddess is painfully apparent. War, violence, terrorism, riots, looting, and burning are the news of the day. Some even say that the coronavirus lockdown is an oppression of our freedoms. The values of business, church, and state are rooted in power, control, money, force, competition, and domination. The peaceful, loving ways of the goddess, the Great Mother, have been conquered by these forces, which are often referred to as the forces of the empire. Many spiritual thought leaders have been calling for a great turning a shift from the forces of the empire to the gentle ways of an earth community. We are all members of the earth community, interconnected by a web of relationships. We are all in relationship. None of us stand alone. Every being, human and other than human, has a presence to other beings. We all depend upon each other for support and survival. And we have an obligation to honor, respect, and uphold the rights of others in the earth community. Many of us know this, and are part of the shift that is underway. The motherless era in human history is drawing to a close. The goddess is back, and she has returned to guide us through this transformation. I envision a world shaped by the principles of the divine feminine, the principles of governance through partnership, an equitable distribution of power, gender balance, justice, fairness, equality, and freedom from oppression. May it be so. Today, I honor the Mother Goddess in all her aspects, and I honor all you mothers out there. I especially honor my mother. It was she who conceived me and carried me in her womb. It was she who endured the excruciating pain of bringing me into this world, giving me life. Her face was the first face I saw. It was she who nursed me, nourished me, and nurtured me. She was the one who gazed at me lovingly as she held me in her arms. She tended to my scrapes and bruises, sometimes just kissing them to make them better. She saw me through my terrible twos and my really terrible teens, especially since my father was not alive at that time. It was solely up to my mom. She shaped me into a man. She was always a deep well of love, tenderness, and compassion. So I truly believe that God's heart is a mother's heart. And with that thought in mind, I wish all you mothers, all you mother goddesses out there, a happy Mother's Day. So a couple of administrative things here. I'm asked to remind you that even though our doors aren't open, we still have a mortgage to pay and also utility bills. So we would appreciate your donations. You can go online to our website, which is www.isdsparta.org, to make those donations. That's www.isdsparta, all one word, .org, and you can make your donations there. And also, if you'd like to, you can drop them in the mail. Our address is, of course, the Institute for Spiritual Development at 15 Sparta Avenue in Sparta, New Jersey, 07871. So we're not sure how long we're going to be doing the services online. So please do visit the website for our online classes and events. I know that we have Reverend Norma doing Ask Spirit Anything on Tuesday nights. And we have our Wednesday healing with Terrence Mulligan. There are also contributions from other reverends. Reverend Kathy just posted a piece on the Taurus and Scorpio full moon. Sorry for that. And let me turn this off, please. Forget it. I just tossed it on the sofa. And there are various homilies there by the different reverends. So, and the other thought that I had was why don't you sign up to receive our ISD newsletter? And with those announcements and the phone ringing in the background, my apologies. We come to the meditation. So take a moment to settle into your chair and let your breath become deeper and slower. You're becoming more and more relaxed with each breath, releasing tension, knots of anxiety and stress. Visualize a blue light flowing from your crown chakra, cascading down your body. You sense that your shoulders are getting heavier. Let them sag down. Feel your jaw loosen, the muscles of the neck relaxing, and your chest expanding, your stomach softening. Feel the tension and tiredness that you've accumulated in your body, easing out with each breath you take. You're feeling very light now, almost weightless. A warm breeze swirls around you, lifts you up and sets you down gently in a beautiful garden. Every plant, tree, and flower vibrates with deep, intense colors. You smell the rich, fertile earth, the buzzing of the bees, the butterflies dancing about in the warmth of the sun. They make it a truly enchanted garden. Intuitively, you sense that something mysterious, yet deeply familiar, lies within. You follow a path to a tiny, crumbling stone sanctuary. It is ancient, hidden, thickly covered with vines and gnarled branches, and it seems to have been forgotten by time. As you open the door, something old and timeless opens within your soul as well. You enter a sacred and holy space. Vaulted ceilings arch over a rough stone altar at the front. Candles are burning, and there's a smell of fragrant incense. On the altar stands a statue of the Mother Goddess, the divine feminine. She is the goddess creator, God as a woman, the great mother. She is the one the world turns to in all its grief and suffering. You fall to your knees and you bow your head in her presence. A sense of deep peace wells up within you. You feel a divinely inspired presence of unconditional love. In the midst of this mystery and magic, you find yourself asking, what message do you have for me, Great Mother? You pause for a moment and listen for her response. You weigh the words of the Great Mother carefully and make a commitment to yourself to use all your gifts to make a difference in this world. And now, gently, you allow yourself to return to your place, the place where you're sitting. You begin to come back to full consciousness, back into your body. And you become aware of your body and your breathing. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes with a soft gaze. Glance around the room and bring yourself back to the present. So I hope this has been a peaceful respite in your week. And once again, let me wish all of you lovely moms out there a happy Mother's Day. And my wish for all of you is to stay well during this pandemic. Put your faith and trust and spirit and persevere. And someday soon, I hope, we'll all be coming out on the other side and put these difficult days behind us, because like all things, this too shall pass. Thank you very much for attending. Sorry for the interruptions. Bye for now.